Happy Saturday night. We have made it through another day, and this was a long one. All right, so let's see if we get some computer action and you guys can see me and hear me, some 5x5s, and we're going to go into it here. All right, so I see me, and I see a couple of you, Robert in Silicon Valley, have said 5x5. That helps. Amish at heart, Krista, good. All right, so you guys can hear me. That's always the important part. All right, so obviously today was a busy day. Uh, we'll start with the topic on everybody's mind is it looks like we finally shot down that Chinese spy balloon. Nothing like after it completely completed its mission, transmitted all the data it needed back, and then once that was done, and now that it was over the ocean, and unless they're checking wave height in the Atlantic, yeah, that's when Biden came out and shot it down. The absolute BS line that he came out today and said he ordered it to be shot down on Wednesday, and the Pentagon said no, except the news a couple of days ago was saying that Biden said no. So, as usual, we have the commander in thief lying to the public. So, now that China has completed its spy mission of all our nuclear facilities, military installations, whatever it would be, now we can shoot it down because you know damn well what it was. Is Xi Jinping told Biden, "Hey, let it finish, otherwise you're not getting your 10%," right? Yeah. So of course there's still the story on the other one in Latin America, and now there are rumors of another one floating around Alaska again. A wayward balloon, and we just happen to have a whole bunch of them heading this way. You know what? China hasn't figured out wind patterns. What? They haven't been able to steal that technology to forecast the weather yet. Just beyond the stupidity of this administration and the audacity to think that they can lie to the people, and we are that stupid. I mean, maybe the people in the White House believe Joe, maybe the people in Congress believe Joe, but the American public doesn't. We know how idiotic this is. It's just okay. How weak do we look? How weak does the United States look right now that we can't take out a freaking balloon? I mean, what you got some military in Mozambique going, we can get intel on the United States. All we need to do is find a clown. Maybe Zelensky's available. But yeah, it just, okay. So that was that. We'll see what happens next. Tomorrow's another day and we'll get more. The second thing I want to talk about here real quick, guys, is loose lips sink ships. Okay, let's put it that way. And again today, I heard another story about this. This is actually kind of funny. Somebody was in a store. I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say what store. Standing in line, and there was at the cash register, and there was some lady who was decided to start running her mouth about all her preps and trying to convince everybody around her to need to prep. And no, guys, especially strangers, okay? If you know somebody, maybe then tell them what you're doing and go on along. But to stand in the middle of a store and tell everybody, I raise chickens. I have 30 guns in my house. I've got to go to the airport this afternoon. Gee, how difficult is it for anybody to get in their car and follow you home? Okay. Gee, now they know, you've got all these chickens. Great. I can't get chickens. Maybe I can steal them from her backyard. Oh, you have a bunch of food. Great. Maybe I can get some of that. Bob, thank you for the super chat there. 10 is spam on me. Do not share with Karen. There you go. But I mean, the classic though is I've got a bunch of guns and oh, I have to go to the airport. Cool. You're going to be away from the house for 3 hours? Wonderful. That gives me plenty of time to go in the house, get all your guns, and then leave. Okay, guys. Nobody. You don't need to tell anybody. And this is ridiculous that I'm even going to say this. Shut up. Do not tell people what you have. You do not know if they're friend or foe. I don't care if two people say, "Oh, I watch pinball. Oh, I watch pinball too." Great. There's people on YouTube that don't like me, guys. Trust me. All right. Uh, and sometimes telling them that you watch me may not be a good thing. So, word to the wise, zip it. Loose lips sink ships. Okay. Okay, that one's out. Now, final one here. My trip today, and I was last couple hours since I got home. I got home what 6:30 somewhere thereabouts. Uh, it was a good long trip. It was 3.5 hours of driving back and forth there in a 3 hour meeting, so it was good. I'm working on editing the video. I recorded the whole thing, guys. So, you guys, if you want to, and I would highly suggest you listen to this video tomorrow when I get it up. It's going to be long. It's going to be about an hour and a half. You're going to learn a whole lot of stuff that you want to know. And I will say this, it's nice to know that we have at least state congressmen and state senators on our side. And I say it in the video too, but I'll say it here as well. They were able to show me today that they don't just talk the talk, that they walk the walk. Some of the laws that we have had recently changed in Tennessee were written by these two guys, primarily about how to stop CBDC. I'll give you just a couple of quick points on this real quick. They are looking at a collaboration of 26, as they call them, free states to implement a interstatal currency that'll be good in those 26 states. I'm sorry if you live in a blue state, you ain't a free state. You're a communist state. My advice, if you live in a communist state, GTFO. Okay. Because when CBDC comes, guys, this is and listen to them tell you this, not listen to me tell you this. This is take away all your freedoms. I mean, I swear they could have been reciting one of my videos, one of Rudy's videos, whatever, saying the exact same thing about your freedoms are going to be taken away. They're going to limit the amount that you can buy, that you're going to be locked out of, you can go 5 miles from your house and that's it, because after 5 miles from your house, your money's no longer any good. This is what these guys are saying. And they are doing something to fix it. The big question came up, as always does here too. Well, you're going to have to participate because you have to pay property tax, right? They already solved that one. They have come up with an idea that is now law in Tennessee that was sponsored by these two guys, whereby homeowners can put money in escrow now to pay their property taxes in the future, so you do not have to participate in the CBDC BS. Okay. Bob, thank you again here. set me free. If you're living in Great Britain, brother, you're screwed. Sorry. Start paddling. And don't go anywhere else in Europe. But yeah, like I said, it's long. It's going to be an hour and 15, hour and a half video. Crank up a pot of coffee in the morning, sit down and listen. All I can say was I was highly impressed, and I walked out of there feeling pretty damn good about what these guys are doing. I got to run into about half a dozen of y'all in the meeting today. which was really nice to see some locals that watched the channel, but also were willing to take their Saturday afternoon because this was important to them. Okay. And I know a lot of you guys don't know the area. Okay. This was in Rogersville, which is hour and 20 minutes from me or whatever it was. There were some people that were there from Morristown or whatever that were, relatively close. I met one guy who was there from Pigeon Forge. That's further away. I mean, y'all know Pigeon Forge. That's Dolly Partonville. Okay. That's over an hour and a half away. People were coming, and there were over 100 people there. I expected, as I was driving there, I expected there to be 10. I was very pleasantly surprised to see a bunch of people drive out into the middle of the country. I mean, and there's nothing around there, okay, to go out and participate in this. That was very positive for me. There's more of us than you know that are going to be willing to fight for this. The interesting part, and I will say this, I was on the young end of the crowd in there. The majority of the people in there were in their 50s, 60s, some in their 70s. Didn't see any millennials. Guys, the fight to save this country is ours. It's Gen X. It's the baby boomers. That's it. Because everybody who's younger than us, they're all waiting for this, because you know damn well what's going to happen. Just like with COVID, where, hey, get one of these and we'll give you a free donut. They're going to be like, open up your digital account and we'll give you a free 100 tokens. And they're going to be like, yay, can I have one? And they're going to be all over it. And then all of a sudden they're going to have those proverbial handcuffs on, and they're going to go, the hell happened? I thought this was going to be good. And it's going to be just like that article a week or so ago where all the jabbed people were blaming the unjabbed on their problems. And it's going to be the same with CBDC. Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell us? We tried for years and you didn't listen. Please take an hour tomorrow morning, clean the house, do the dishes, something, whatever. Rearrange your green bean shelf and listen to this video. It's definitely going to be worth your time. So, okay, that was that. I mean, like I said, the whole video is an hour and a half long. It's a lot easier for you guys to listen to it than me to try to explain the whole thing. Okay, and again, I'll get missed parts of it. There's Q&A session. There were probably a dozen questions or whatever. I think I got 3 or 4 questions in there. And like I said earlier, what impressed me was when the senator didn't know the answer, he didn't try to bullshit me. He told me flat out, I don't know. That's a good question. Okay. And I was asking about income tax, but you can listen to the whole thing. All right, let's get into the normal Tuesday, Saturday night thing. For all those of you guys that are new, I'll kind of explain the rules. For those of you guys that came over from Travis at the Prepared Homestead, I know I just bounced in there. Thank you, Travis, for letting everybody know that I'm temporarily on this channel. I do appreciate that. And for all those of you that came over, welcome. We'll have a little bit of fun here just so you know what the format is. We do this every Saturday night at 9 Eastern, every Tuesday night at 8 Eastern. And what this is a chance for Q&A for all of you. Mom Survival, thank you for the super chat there. This is your chance to be heard rather than just listen to whoever, me in this case, but whoever's on the other end of the camera. This is a chance for you guys to ask questions and get out what's on your mind and get that into the conversation amongst everybody. I try to get to as many questions as I can. I usually get to a lot of them. Please understand, I'm not going to get to them all. But pay attention to the chat, because when you ask a question, there's a lot of people in here that may have an answer if I don't get to it, or God forbid, I don't know, because I don't have all the answers either. Never profess to. I try to know as much as I can, but you guys, a couple of people stump me each week. So No topics off limit. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we've talked about everything from economy to politics to gardening to 80s rock bands to old time TV shows to how to can bananas to God knows what. Okay. Whatever you guys want to talk about is cool with me. The only thing I do demand is that you keep it polite in here. Just difference of opinion is totally accepted. I have no problem with that. If you start being rude to either me or to anybody else in the uh, chat room, you will be tossed out of here real quick. My mods are very good at this. All six of them have been with me for quite a while, and they keep the riffraff out of here. So keep it family friendly, guys. PG-13 is totally is pretty much what I shoot for. Every once in a while, there's going to be something that'll slip out of my mouth. Your teenagers heard it. Trust me. Your 6-year-old might not want to be in a room. So, all right, let's get into this. I'm going to get to the top, see what you guys want to talk about, and we're going to have some fun here tonight. Okay. Let's see. Questions. Okay, here we go. Moldy Soldier says Monkey Work says they were likely jamming the balloon. I've heard that. Do you trust it? Okay. Do you trust anything that comes out of the White House, the Department of Justice, the FBI, the Pentagon anymore? They lie to us so much. It's Chicken Little out of Washington anymore. Okay. Sure, they're going to say they were jamming it because all they're trying to do is make us feel better. That's it. Oh, don't worry. The Chinese didn't learn anything from it. Right. And I got a bridge to sell you, in Arizona too. Moonlight Gardner, thank you for the super chat. Have I ever soaked alfalfa pellet to make a nitrogen tea? No, I don't have guinea pigs or anything of the sort like that, so I have no reason to buy alfalfa pellets. And between me soaking comfrey and coffee grounds and what's the other thing I've got sitting up behind the shed? I can't think of the name of the other plant that's really good for putting in a compost tea. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I've got plenty of stuff, just a compost tea would be fine. Will alfalfa pellets work? Yeah, but they cost money. And the whole thing is, guys, there ain't going to be a store forever. So you got to be able to figure out how to do all this stuff when you can't go to Walmart or Home Depot or whatever to buy it. Scott McHugh, Pinball, do you think this balloon came out of Canada? They let the Chinese train there. Actually, there has been tracking done that's been posted all over the place. This started in central China, went up into the North Atlantic, ran along the coast of Alaska, then ran along the coast of Canada, dipped across Canada, and dropped into Montana. So, no, I mean, it's already been proven that this started in central China and basically made a beeline to the United States. That's what I was talking about the other day, is the weather balloon lie. It doesn't hold water. They're not checking out what the temperatures are in the North Atlantic for any reason, or North Pacific for any reason. Craig Cooley, thoughts on fractional gold? I don't like it for a very good reason. Okay. First off, it's really tiny. Okay. And let's say you've got, I don't know, 100 grams of gold or whatever it is. I mean, it's not going to be the size of your little pinky fingernail. Okay. Very, very easy to lose. The second thing is you are paying a steep, steep premium over the price of gold to buy it in fractional ounces. Okay. If you go look, I mean, the premiums on silver are high right now. I mean, somebody was asking me the other day what I'm looking for. If I can find sales that's under 15%, I'll jump on them. Okay. Gold, the premiums aren't as bad. But when you start looking at some of these fractional pieces of gold and stuff like that, you start getting up there and realize when you extrapolate it out to the cost of to the price of gold, You're paying right now $24, $25, $2,600 an ounce for gold. Okay. No, it's the same reason why I say I don't like goldbacks. If you look at goldbacks, you're paying literally right now over $3,000 an ounce to buy a goldback. Gold's under $2,000 an ounce. You need a 50% increase in the price of gold to break even for that. Even on the fractionals, you're looking at needing a 30% increase to break even. My this is the way I look at it. Okay, you want junk silver to be think comparing to current U.S. currency dollars. Okay, your junk silver is your ones and fives. Your 1 ounce silver round is your fives and tens. Your gold is your 20s and 50s. Okay, and if you got 100, great. It's still the gold. But look at it that way. Junk silver, silver rounds, gold rounds is what you're looking for. And because the thing is, you want to be able to make change, get change. You don't just want to have gold, okay? Because if you need to buy a loaf of bread and all you've got is an ounce of gold, nobody's going to have a sack of silver to give you in change, okay? If you've got this tiny little piece of gold, guarantee you're going to go look on YouTube on all the videos of the guys that go out metal detecting all over the place and see all the old coins they find. Silver coins, gold coins, going back to, the 1700s, because they fell out of somebody's pocket. Can you imagine losing, a couple of pieces of gold? Yeah, it's going to be a problem. So, honey, I screwed up. I just vacuumed up your gold. How many stories have we heard about people flushing their wedding ring, running their wedding ring down the kitchen sink? Same thing with gold. If it's that tiny, it's very easy to lose. Again, that's why I'm going to say stick with 1 ounce pieces, silver or gold, and then your junk silver for anything smaller. Let's see. Hillbilly, Pinball, have I got to shoot the bow yet? No, I haven't. Believe it or not, today was the first day in like a week and a half it hasn't rained. So since the day we finished cutting down trees. So that's a week and a half that it hasn't rained. So no, I have not got out. I will get out with it. There's so many things I got to do. I got to find some time to go out and play a little bit, but I've got so much work, and now we come into springtime. I finally, while I was out today, picked up my peat moss. So finally got that. That was an exercise. I figured if I'm going to be that far away from home and near a bigger city, I want to go into Morristown. So yes, for those of you guys that know what this is, today's drive was from Sharps Chapel to Rogersville to Morristown to Maynardville to home. Yes, I spent quite a bit of time in the car today. Let's see. Diane S., do I think people will start protesting if the price of food keeps going up and up and up? No. I don't think the normies are going to realize anything until they go to the store and the sign says closed. Joel, thank you for the super sticker. Because the normies aren't changing anything, and they're bitching a little bit. It's like, food prices are up or egg prices are up, but they still go buy their eggs. They're still buying their $7 lattes at Starbucks. Okay. It's when the food is gone, that's when they're going to go, where's all the food? What have we been telling you? You don't want to listen. Salty Blank Zero, thank you, and you are most welcome. I ain't one in a million. Rural Internet Prepper, thank you for the super chat. From the video the other day, any reason the Upper Peninsula was not picked as a safe zone? The blast radius fallout in that area looks safe. And again, I put all the criteria in. My guess would be because of one of the criteria was there had to be good grazing area for livestock. How the UP does not make it in parts of North Dakota I don't know. The only thing I can think of up there is either a lack of water, which I have a hard time believing, okay, or the soil conditions and the grasslands for uh, livestock. That's the only reason. Like I said, that's just what I pulled by the criteria you put. You could come up with all sorts of criteria. You know, it's got to be near a Dunkin' Donuts. You know, and that's going to change everything. But I just found it interesting when I put in some simple criteria about water, about good soil, and about livestock being able to graze, basically so you can eat and drink. Figure, you know, food, water, shelter, the bare minimum that you need. That was what I was looking for. And I really got a kick out of the fact when it came back in the Appalachians and the Ozarks. That, you know, obviously there were a couple other outliers in there, which was good because I was hoping it wasn't like the whole world was going to have to go into two places. But that gives everybody an idea of what that search criteria did. Now, depending on where you are. I mean, I'm not telling anybody from the UP to sit there and make a trip to North Dakota. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Or somebody who's in upstate Maine to go all the way to West Virginia. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But you guys are also familiar with the climate that you have up there. And that was what I was talking about, where I said, you know, and again, you guys have heard me all the time say that there is no one size fits all. I don't have boatloads of cold weather gear for in my preps. I mean, I have a sub-zero sleeping bag, I have gloves and a ski cap and a scarf and a winter coat and boots and everything like that. But I don't have snowmobile suits and all this sort of stuff because the winters in Tennessee are nothing like the winters they are in International Falls. And so those of you guys that live way up north, you're prepped very different than we are. So Joel, thank you again there for the super sticker. Okay. Where else are we going here? Crazy prepper Linda. Hope DeSantis stays governor of Florida, keeps the state sane. 2024 is still way too far off. DeSantis hasn't announced. I think the only Republicans that have announced so far are Trump and Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley has less than a 0%. If Nikki Haley makes it to the first primary, I'll be surprised, okay? Because nobody's going to support her. She is Rhino with a capital RINO. You know, she's slimy. But if DeSantis runs, I mean, you know, you see a poll, oh, Trump's trouncing DeSantis. Oh, DeSantis is trouncing Trump. Both of them are trouncing Biden. You know, it's too early to tell. You know, before everybody started, and the pundits, you know, they're trying to make news because on a slow news day, there's nothing else to talk about. So they try to come up with something like that. It's good filler at this point, the speculation. One of the best lines I heard, and this was maybe going back a month ago, is that none of the Republican contenders wants to announce. Why? Because then Trump gets them one-on-one, and you know how Trump will do. He will come up with a nickname for you, and it'll stick to you forever. You know, we all still remember Lion Ted and, you know, Little Marco and everything like that. And those names stuck. So, you know, Nikki Haley decided to jump in, and you can bet that Trump will be going after her 100%. The rest of them are going to wait. Let's get 4, 5, 6 people, and then Trump only goes after me 20% of the time. Right now, he's going to be able to go after Nikki Haley 100% of the time. So, Red Scout, thank you for the super chat. Oh, Great Britain tonight, huh? So appreciate it. Guys, I hope I didn't miss anybody in the super chats. I apologize if I do. I try to catch them as they pop in. Sometimes they disappear from my screen. But please know every one of them is greatly appreciated, and the moderators are my second voice. So, you know, if I miss it, my sincerest apologies, but thank you. Y'all know where it goes. It goes into next year's Christmas fund, so that's always the fun part. So, let's see. Indiana, Karen Reinerson, Indiana was not on the state on the list. No. Amanda Fishes. Okay, a man that fishes. Is that what's supposed to be a play on a word, or is that actually your name? Or does Amanda just go fishing? Been putting things into practice this last year for CBDC. Okay, well, me putting it into practice for CBDC means I don't go shopping anymore. I don't buy anything. I will not use it. I don't care. If I get paid in it, that's fine. Here's this is what I want to see how they do. This is the one they haven't figured out yet. Because any money I get in CBDC, I'm going straight to a coin shop and buying gold and silver. Period. I don't want any of their digital bullshit. I'm going straight to a coin shop and saying, here, you can have all the ones and zeros you want. I want all the silver and gold you'll give me. Okay. And if you think I'm the only one that's going to do that, you're nuts. If CBDC is implemented, expect the price of gold and silver to go through the freaking roof because the demand is going to be insane. Let's see. Pat Martinez, is Utah on one of the good states? Cedar City was, yes. So if you're up in Salt Lake area, you got 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive south. And if you're up in Logan, you got even further to go. All right. Redhead 2978-9. Southern Illinois needs to separate from Northern Illinois. Do you think that'll ever happen? See, there's the thing. That's what's going to become very interesting. You know me. You've heard me since the advent of the channel saying that I expect to see balkanization. And the hard part with that is a lot of people, when they see balkanization, they go, like the state lines are going to be where they're going to draw the line. Well, Oregon's a blue state, so therefore all of Oregon is going to be part of the new California country or whatever it would be. No, it's not going to work like that. Okay. Remember how borders were drawn in the first place. They were either natural landmarks, rivers or mountain ranges or the lakes or something like that. Those became borders. They went on parallels. Okay. And those were how the lines. I mean, they're all man-made. Okay, there was a reason that they picked it, because I think the state had to have 50,000 people in an area before they could apply for statehood. I think that's what the number was. So now what's going to happen? Well, you'll probably have coastal Washington, coastal Oregon, and coastal California be this tiny little micro state, and the rest of it's going to go west. Okay. The real screwball ones are going to be New Mexico and Colorado, okay? But again, you're only talking about the cities for the most part in those states that are blue. You look at Chicago would be cut off. However, it's going to understand this. If you went county by county in the United States, like 90 some odd percent of the counties in the United States are red. It's just that so many Democrats are so concentrated in the cities. That's why Chicago makes the rules for all the rest of Illinois. I mean, Cook County, maybe Will and DuPage a little bit in there or whatever. And the rest of the state has to sit there and deal with it because of those 1 to 3 counties. It's the same with Michigan. I mean, you look at Wayne County with Detroit, then you look at maybe Oakland County or something, which has a tendency to tip blue, and they're making the decision for the rest of the state, which most of it, save Grand Rapids, save Ann Arbor, the rest of it's red. Okay. That's the problem. How are they going to be split up? And, New England, you're toast. Okay. I'm sorry. You take Pennsylvania all the way up to Maine, and that's, the new communist state of England or whatever the hell they want to call themselves. That's a lost cause. That's gone. Anywhere from Maryland up north, I guess, if you take it that way, and the West Coast there. But how do you take the one-offs, the Colorados, Arizona, I guess, but maybe Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico becomes a state or a country. But then what are you going to take? Minnesota, the people in Wisconsin get screwed, in Chicago. How the lines are going to be drawn would be very interesting. Sundrop, does the video mention which 26 states? No, but you can probably pretty much take a look at them and figure it out real quick. It's going to be the South up through the Great Plains into the Northern Rockies. I mean, that's pretty. The red, it's going to be the red states versus the blue states. I think that's how Senator Nicely would probably breaking it apart. But he was looking more at how the state legislatures were aligned. I mean, Tennessee's, I mean, 70% of the House and something like 68% or whatever of the Senate here is conservative. I mean, the Democrats are just, you know, they they go to Nashville to hold the door for everybody else. That's it, because their voice means nothing, because there just aren't enough liberals in the state, thank God. Same in some other in other states. You look at, again, talking about Illinois. You take all the collar counties right around Chicago, and all those state representatives who are to make all the decisions, and everybody from down south. To, you know, why bother even going to work? It doesn't matter. Let's see. Frank Kevin, is that a felt hat? Yes. Healthy disrespect for authority. Does that property tax escrow account prevent the amount from going up? That I doubt. Okay. However, Tennessee has it written into the state constitution that property taxes cannot go up more than 2% a year without the people voting to raise the taxes more than 2%. Okay. And I think I've told you guys many times, our property taxes are extremely low here. My property taxes in 2023 actually are less than they were in 2022. Okay. And I paid, I think it was $1,175 in property tax this year, not month, year, for 3 acres. Decor by Chelsea. We're actually looking into moving to Tennessee. What are the best areas? Stay away from the cities, and absolutely stay away from Memphis. Okay, I wouldn't live within an hour of Memphis for sure. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near downtown Nashville. I would not want to be in Knox County around here, because, like every other state, that's where you have all the liberal stupidity. Even though you're talking Bible Belt state here, you still had drag shows running on in Knoxville, and the mayor going yay and all this sort of crap. Okay, you get outside the cities in Tennessee, and pretty much you're going to find good people. So then it's a matter of what you're looking for, what you can afford. I mean, are you looking for land to farm? Are you looking for land in the mountains? Are you looking for land on a lake? Are you looking for rivers? Whatever it is, it's all here. You just got to find it where you want to be. Suzanne M1224. Can you store vacuum sealed food in regular 5-gallon buckets? Yes, sure, no problem, because you've already got it vacuum sealed. All right. I store my Mylar bags in regular 5-gallon buckets, not the ones with the gamma seals or the food grade buckets or anything, because the food is in the Mylar bag. The only time you need the food grade bucket is if you are going to store the food directly in the bucket. If you're putting a liner in of some sort, all you're looking at with that bucket is some way to keep it neat and some way to keep critters out. Okay. Keep the bugs out from getting inside, keep the mice from eating into the bag. If you get rats, they'll eat through plastic, but little mouse is not going to eat through a plastic bucket. Kathleen Maddox, thank you, Pinball, for reporting on this great work. Much appreciated. I try, guys. I, I'm not the fastest. Never trying to be. I mean, every once in a blue moon, I'm the first one to get something out. I'd rather be right than fast. That's just the way I am. There's a lot of things I look at and go, this could potentially be something to talk about. I want to get more detail. And if no more detail comes up, I'm not going to waste your time with it. I'm not going to waste my time with it either. Let's see. Oh, Trucker Hershey. I've also said they're waiting for the older people to die off before they did anything. Well, I plan on living to be in my 80s at least. I mean, both my parents are in their 80s, so I think I should be able to do that too, which means I'm going to be around for another quarter of a century. Joe ain't going to be around for another quarter of a century. nor is Hillary, nor is Maxine Waters, you know, Ralph Nader. Jerry Nadler will probably have his, 80-second heart attack or bypass, whichever one first, gastric bypass, not heart bypass, because the only way that guy's not going to look like the Pillsbury Doughboy, that's where, morning rolls around. He's like, somebody bring me my donuts. You bring him a box. And he goes, no, I wanted the whole store, not a box. But Susan Musser, I'm assuming you recommend for people that receive military retirement or Social Security? You're going to have to get a whole lot. What do I recommend in what? I mean, on paying your bills, on how much gold and silver to have. You got to give me some more context there. Jess G, do I know any millennial prepper channels? No. I know there are a few millennials that watch this channel, and I commend them for being the exception to the rule in their generation. Hell, we're all the exception to the rule in our generation. For years and years and years, they told us all we were crazy tinfoil hat wearing wackos. And then COVID hit. Okay. The people who still have the blinders on are the ones who will be dead in a week. Okay. Don't sugarcoat it or anything like that. They won't make it a week. They'll freak out as soon as the power goes out for 3 days, just like they always do. And then when the power doesn't come back on, or there isn't any money, the ATM machine doesn't work, my phone doesn't work, oh my God, Starbucks is closed, I can't live like this anymore. Boom! That's what's going to happen. Mom Survival, if I didn't thank you before, thank you now for the super chat. Some of them just come. Let's see. Cute one. Poplar announced it on a YouTube Shorts for people to know. About me being here. Yeah, I know he did there. So I thanked Steve the other day. Steve and I talked yesterday, I think it was. Scott McHugh. 6 jets in formation went over my house this morning, and you know where they went? No, because I don't know where you live. So I'm going to take a guess you might live somewhere off the coast of South Carolina, but that if you live in California, no, I have no idea. DW, I missed first part. What video is it? The one you have listed as Rumble? No, it's the video I'm going to put up tomorrow morning, so it'll be posted here on YouTube. Long video, so it's taken a while to edit it. Linda Bopp, thank you for being smart enough to have this backup channel. A very wise man you are. I'm a prepper. You have backups to everything, including your YouTube channel. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I got 3. There's a backup for this one too, guys. And Lorna, if you're around, you might as well put the backup, the link for the backup to the backup. That one's for when I get really pissy. That one's called Revenge of Pinball. Joel, you're reaching in your wallet quite a bit tonight. Thank you. Prepared, burn myself. Late on backup channel. Saturday numbers on Tuesdays. There you go. All right, let's see. Greg Williams, what is my prep plan when I'm too old to garden? Well, when that happens, they will have put me in a box and buried me somewhere because there ain't going to be too old to garden. And I'll give you this. I mean, for any of you guys, obviously y'all watch other YouTube channels as well, just like I do, okay? And one that I enjoy watching is Hollis and Nancy's Homestead, if you guys have ever seen that. Hollis is 70 years old, guys. And he's out there working in the garden, building stuff, putting in underground sprinkler systems, digging holes, stuff like that. Yeah. Too old to garden? When I'm too old to garden, I'm dead. That's my plan. If I'm too old to eat, that's a lot of people don't understand this, guys. 2 years from now, the only thing you're going to be eating is what you know how to grow, because everything else is going to be, sorry, sir, you're not allowed to have that. Your carbon credits are You've used too many carbon credits, or your ESG score isn't high enough, or whatever it is. And go, yeah, but you know what? You're eating bugs with that good ESG score, and I'm eating fresh tomatoes. And no, you can't have any. Ah, running shoes. Pinball is, whoops, is the pond full after all this rain? Yeah, the pond, I mean, as full as it's going to be. It's about that high from the edge. I'm not trying to put any more water in it at this point. Just like anything else, it will slowly lose a little bit, and I'll fill it as I need to be. But no, pond's full right now. Uh, let's see. Uh, Corey Tatrode, question: do I think the Marxists are running the show? Obama's third term. Oh, to think. I mean, we know that Joe isn't smart enough to tie his own shoelaces. Do you think he's making any of these decisions? I mean, this is coming straight from Obama and Susan Rice. That I mean, there's no question whatsoever. You know, I mean, Joe, half the women in my administration are women. Yes, he said that yesterday. Okay. Next backup channel should be Pinball Soldiers. There you go. If we ever get that far, yes. Basic training will start at 5 a.m. Bradford Home. I remember when you made that backup channel, you were furious. Oh, when I made I was. You guys don't see me get pissed that often because usually I'm pretty jovial of a person. When I get pissed, okay, the John Teller video, yeah, when that starts coming out of my mouth, you know I'm hot. Okay, you know I'm not one of these people who goes from zero to asshole in 1 second. It takes a while, but when I get there, get out of the way. Uh Diomedeus tried your Boston butt recipe today. Turned out pretty good. You're most welcome. It all depends on what barbecue sauce you use and stuff like that. Like I said, this is be like sweet, so we use Sweet Baby Ray's, but use your own or whatever it would be. Uh, oops, we shot to the bottom here. Gotta get me back up. Roddy's rule. That's how it is here in Virginia. Now, northern and Richmond area is blue. The rest of the state is red. Yeah, I mean that's most states. The cities are most okay. It's all red states. The cities are blue, and the rest of the state is red. I mean, look at Texas. Or I mean, as red as Texas is. It's like okay, Dallas Fort Worth is blue, Austin's blue, Houston's blue. I can't tell you about San Antonio or Lubbock or El Paso or anything like that, but yeah, and the rest of the state's red. Uh, there aren't a whole lot. I mean, even Salt Lake City is blue. Okay, uh, but Utah's one of those ruby red states, like Oklahoma, like Tennessee, whatever it would be. But there's still blue patches everywhere. I mean, we are intermixed. I mean, there is no. I said to somebody today. I said, I wish we could put a sign on the border that says "Welcome to Tennessee, liberals not allowed" or something like that. That would be my utopia, but because I'm such a loving person. I could accept anybody but a liberal. I don't care if you are a Martian. That's fine. Just don't be a liberal. Oklahoma, please be on the list. It's ruby red. Red Oak, Oklahoma was on the list. Right. Again, it was part of the ones that were in the Ozarks. You had, was it Mountain Home, Arkansas? I forget the name of the town in Missouri, but they were both right on the border. And then where the Ozarks split over to Red Oak, that was the third one. D Van Eck, where's the link to the video you're referring to? It's on the homepage. I think it's the second video I posted yesterday, I believe it was. So, Country Humans Network. I consider Minnesota a lost cause. All Democrat now. It's bad. Hell, any state that's going to elect Ilhan Omar once is bad enough. When you elect it twice, you're gone. I mean, granted, I understand that's her district, which is where Obama dumped a bunch of Somalis, but even then, the rest of the state should have said, get her out of here. We got to put up any other candidates. But no, they didn't. They just let the America hating traitor, who's here illegally, but who cares? She's a Democrat. Secret Squirrel. There you go. I can't do a Bullwinkle impression. No, that wasn't see. That was Rocky. Secret Squirrel. Secret Squirrel was a cartoon from when I was a kid, though. I remember that. Do you know if any other states have a bill or law being passed or trying to pass for the property tax escrow account other than Tennessee? I believe, and if I remember correctly, I believe they said we are the only state right now that has that. And they were saying in there too, to get a hold of people, other people we know. I'm like, hell, I got 100,000 of you guys, to let you guys know. Contact your state senators and state representatives and say, contact these guys. I mean, when we look at a state senator and a state congressman telling us to tell you guys to tell your representatives to contact them. I mean, how many politicians do you know going, please come to me? That's what they were doing today. They're like, yeah, we want more on board. Benjamin, what's in store for Pennsylvania? In what respect? Guys, when you put something in a question, please give me the context. Understand I'm not seeing your question as soon as you type it. It's usually 10, 15 minutes after, and as you can hear, the topics change all over. So please put something in context so I understand what the question is. I apologize because I don't know. Kevin Little, I've been doing the food cost challenge since 113. I already noticed the great value bread of honey wheat bread went from $1.10 to $1.89. Okay. I have not checked the prices as of yet. I figure I'm going to wait till the beginning of April. I'm not optimistic that I'm going to see good news. Kiki Roxu 2. I live in Michigan but have a cabin in North Dakota. Should I plan a move? Okay. Where do you live in Michigan? That would be the question. I mean, if you live, upstate or in the UP, I mean, even somewhere Saginaw. I mean, pretty much if you live anywhere outside of Detroit and the Collar counties, maybe around Ypsi or Ann Arbor, or around Grand Rapids, you're probably pretty good. When you're comparing to North Dakota, you're going to have the same weather type deal and all. If you live around the city, bye. Yeah, I'd be moving. Aquadrop 61, 5.5 acres in Florida, and my taxes are a little over $850 a year. There you go. Guys, it can be done. You don't have to pay $16,000 a year in taxes in some of these, New Hampshire or something like that. Rural Internet Prepper, thank you for the super chat again. What do you recommend is the best method to grow indoor vegetable plants during the winter? I heard gutter sections with a grow light, but not sure it will produce in that small of root area. The roots on most vegetables will, and again, I'm not talking about root vegetables. I'm talking, your fruiting vegetables. Need about 6 inches of depth to get their roots in. So, a 1 gallon pot, depending on the vegetable, pretty much what you're going to be looking at are 5 gallon pots for typical size vegetables. Okay. 5 gallon buckets are perfect. That, if you want to do something like in the basement with grow lights, use 5 gallon buckets. You're going to do it in the garage with the setup like I've got, and you're going to grow all the way to fruition, 5 gallon buckets. That's the way to go. Gilligan MG Krebs, thank you for the super chat. Do I use both pressure canners for meat? Okay, I don't understand what you mean, both. Just started in red for meats to use pressure canning. Do you can other meats besides pulled pork? Would you show us in future vids? I've canned chicken, I've canned turkey, I've canned corned beef, I've canned my chili, Mrs. P's borscht. I mean, Anything with meat in it, you need to pressure can for 75 minutes for pints or 90 minutes for quarts. I've pressure canned ground beef. Some people like to raw pack it. Some people like to pre-cook it or par cook it before they do it. That's up to you. But yes, anything that's got meat in it, you have to pressure can, and it will. I mean, I don't care if you got one piece of meat in a whole thing of cabbage. You're making galumpki or something like that. It's got very little meat in there, and a lot of cabbage, a lot of tomato sauce. 90 minutes because it's got meat in it. You've got to do that. Okay? It does not matter. But pressure canning meats is no different than pressure canning green beans, except for the time. So easy enough. Go get yourself a ball blue book and just follow the directions. Go watch the channel Sutton's Days. Lisa has hundreds of videos on canning pretty much anything you could want, and recipes and all sorts of stuff like that. She's still my go-to when I have questions. Can I do this? Because there's certain things that you're not supposed to can. Like where he says, "Oh, you're never supposed to can rice." I can stuffed green peppers. You guys know that. It came out fabulous. So, okay, moving on. Vicky Savage, the property taxes for my 100 acres is less than $1.50 an acre. There you go. Like I said, it can be found. You just have to be in the right state. Okay. Kathleen, does Mrs. P like to sew? What has she made? No, I mean, she knows how to sew. I mean, if there's a hole in something or whatever it is, yes, she can sew it. But as for her sitting there sewing something, no, that's not her deal. Let's see. Starstead, Groom Creek, Arizona. Starting our gutter peas tomorrow. Do we need to use lights? Okay, first off, guys, you don't need to use lights to start any seed. Just telling you this right now. You can put the seeds in a kitchen cabinet and they'll germinate. It's once the seeds break ground, that's when they need the light. Okay. But yeah, if you're gonna do your peas or whatever it is, they don't need light the first day, but peas will germinate within 48 hours. Okay. If you're going to start your peas, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, soak them overnight, just dump them, put them in a bowl of water. That'll save you a few days in germination time. But you are going to need lights as soon as the peas break ground, and that'll be within the first day or two. Let's see. Wild One Slill Farm. Okay. Love your channel. Today's my birthday. Just wanted to say thank you. Well, very happy birthday to you. And now you're 21. Now you can go have a drink. So, kidding. Did I miss something here? Okay, no, I didn't. Whoops. What did I do? Well, that wasn't good. Let's try this. I just closed the chat window. Let's see if I can find it again. There we go. Back we go. All right. Let's see if I can find where I was, or at least somewhat close, because we only got a couple of minutes. Hillbilly says, great live. Have a good evening. Thank you, mods, for the great work. Well, we're not done yet, so a couple minutes. Fastball 2611. We're going to do your pulled pork and can it. How long does it last? First time can it. It should last you a few years. I mean, stuff around here won't last that long. Mrs. P and I do a good job rotating. Probably about 18 months we'll rotate almost everything we have. We have so many green beans and so many pickles right now. It's going to be that may take a little bit longer, but we're pretty good about rotating everything a year and a half. Never had problems. But if you watch Alaska Prepper, Rudy has gone in. He's opened up meat that he's canned 6-7 years earlier, and it's still perfectly fine. So. I just says Rambat. What are gutter peas? Okay. If you haven't seen, okay, regular green peas, regular English peas, that you get either way you want, your snow peas, your snap peas, your shelling peas, whatever would be, however you like to grow your peas. The easiest way to grow them is to get yourself a piece of rain gutter, okay, like it's on your house. I cut mine into 5-foot sections, fill it with soil, put a plant every 1 inch. I can get, or put a seed. I can get 3 up and down, and then I can get what 100 and I get 180 in a 5-foot section. So whatever, 100. So I get 60 rows by 3 in a 5-foot gutter. The reason that is so good, don't ever try to grow peas in a, Mrs. P moved it. No. Don't ever try to grow peas in one of these, okay? Within a week, they're going to be all twisted and tangled, and you'll tear them all apart. You grow them in the gutter, real easy thing. You take the end off the gutter, you just slide them all right out, right into a ditch in the garden. You just planted 180 peas all at once, and you get a jump start on the season because you got them started indoors. 9:59, one more. Robert Bates, folks, welfare is already CBDC, and so are tax returns being direct deposit. Okay, no, it's not the same. Okay, the electronic funds are not the same as CBDC. Just because you get the money electronically, most people get their paycheck direct deposit. It's still not controlled by the government. Your money isn't expiring. You're not getting paid negative interest. You're not being told what you can buy with it. Yes, it's electronic money, but it's not digital currency. So, but yeah, it'll work somehow the same way, except now they're going to tell you what you can and cannot buy, when you can and cannot use it, and where you can and cannot go. So, guys, thank you very much for Saturday night. It's been a long day, and I still got to finish editing that video. So I will have this up in the morning. Should be up by 7. I'm probably going to sleep a little bit tonight, but we will see you all in the morning. Please go watch this tomorrow. It's that important. Have a good one, y'all. Pinball out.